Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Ali here. Hope you're all doing very well. Thank you for stopping by. Just another post-commentary video today, actually. We are flying out the Germans with the BF109. We do actually alter between two planes within the clips you are about to see. Two clips, and we're flying over on Stalingrad against the Russians. And it's actually quite an interesting fight. It's a good dogfight for me, to be honest with you. There are two clips here that you're going to see. And, you know, it's me bouncing around, turn fighting quite a bit, to be fair, and just trying to really stick on people's tails. And I do a fairly good job, so look forward to that. Let me know what you think. Obviously, if you don't know, basically, if you're new to the channel, I'm not very good at simulator. It's something that I'm very new to and still learning, so advice is always greatly appreciated. So yeah, but just bear that in mind, obviously, while you're watching me. And don't feel too embarrassed when you see what you're going to see, because it's not great. But yeah, I did enjoy it. It was a good flight, and that's the main thing for me. Obviously, I just make sure that I enjoy it and that I'm improving, which I think I am, ever so slowly, but surely we will get there. We will become an ace one day. That's the aim. But yeah, anyway, today basically it's going to be a bit more of a how to put it, let's say it's a kind of a tips sort of video. Now, it is for people that are very new to simulator like myself, but mainly it's just the tips that I think I want to start applying to myself and using my knowledge, well, trying to use that knowledge to bring into my simulator battles, and then that way I can know that, well, go to the video and that's what I said I need to do to start doing it. That's the whole aim. So yeah, I'm going to go out and give my little tips, and this is what I think really you should be focusing on quite early on in simulator battles to hopefully try and improve. Now, you can let me know what you think as well if you've got any advice for anyone that is new to simulator, any advice for myself. As always, drop it down below. If you are new around here and you like what you see, be sure to subscribe and leave a like on the video. It is greatly appreciated. But anyway, let's jump into it. So the first thing that I kind of believe I'm going to start trying, you can try this as well, is I'm going to stick with one particular nation for a little while, and I'm just going to try and fly out, you know, maybe 2 or 3 planes, something like that. Now, I used to play League of Legends, which is a MOBA, MMO, sorry. Not MMO? MOBA. Yeah, MOBA. That's right, I think. I don't know. I don't know it all. But basically, that game works very well for people that want to take it seriously and competitive when they just pick a few certain champions in that game. And it can be similar for War Thunder when playing simulator battles. If you pick a couple of planes and you stick with those same planes and you only fly them over and over again, over time you are going to learn their limits, their capabilities, and, you know, the pros and cons, basically. And if you can do that, you will then just improve from just knowing that in general. Now, you are going to be restricted to obviously those particular planes, so you're not going to know the advantages and, you know, the disadvantages of other planes. However, saying that, it's not like you can go out and fly all of these planes across all the nations and remember what they're all good at and what they're all weak at, because quite frankly you're just not going to get enough experience in them to, you know, kind of understand. And I think that's one of my disadvantages within simulator battles. Very rarely do I fly out the same plane over and over again, like repetitively over the same few days. I like to try and mix it up a bit, and I think that's something that can actually hinder my performance and, you know, me improving. So that's what I want to change. I don't really know what particular nation and what planes I'm going to fly out just yet. It is something I am going to decide. I very much am a fan of Britain. That's kind of the ones I've got the most planes in. However, I potentially am thinking Germany or the US. Now, I know that Germany are quite difficult in a sense, and they at the end of the day, they all have those pros and cons, as we've said. But I will make a decision. But if you've got one that you think would be a very good one for me to try out, by all means, drop that down below. And then the other thing that I've actually changed recently within my games is I've got a Logitech Extreme 3D Pro as my joystick, and I usually use the trigger button to fire. Now, what I've actually noticed is that when doing that, when I go to have someone in my sights and I fire, I pull the trigger, and ever so slightly my wrist just kind of, you know, moves a little bit and moves them out on my sights, which obviously isn't good, because the whole point of this is to shoot down other planes, and I'm not really doing that at the minute. So what I've actually done is I've changed my cannons onto just a normal button on the joystick next to the hat switch, and in that way, when I've got someone in my sights, I can use my cannons to just spray them with that. And I find that just clicking the button is a bit easier than kind of, you know, pulling my fingers to press this trigger. It keeps my hand a bit more stable and in the position that I want it to be. So that is something that I have tried, and it seems to be working for me a little bit better. As I said, try it yourself, see if you think it does anything. I think for most people it probably would. If you have got quite a, I wouldn't even know how to call it, but, you know, when you are pulling on the trigger and you are shaking a little bit you can obviously change your sensitivity, like your dead zone and that sort of stuff, but it has to be quite a dramatic one for me, and I don't really want to mess around with that because I'm happy with how the joystick is set up as it stands. So I've just changed the trigger button, and that does the job for me at the minute, and hopefully it will carry on doing so. And the next thing that I kind of did change quite a few days ago actually, but it's something that definitely has helped, and as I just said, I'm happy with it, and you should try it as well, is I've brought my sensitivity down on my rudder and my pitch by quite a dramatic amount. Now the reason for this is, before, when I was getting someone in my sights, the slightest of movement on my joystick up or down for my pitch, I would go all over the place. Not so much the rudder, because it's the twist one on the Logitech Extreme 3D Pro, so that wasn't too much of an issue, but my pitch was definitely a massive thing for me. And as I was as I was getting someone in my sight, I'd go and trigger, and I'd go up and down because I just couldn't keep the joystick there. So I have changed the sensitivity on that and reduced that by quite an amount, and actually looked at the dead zone and kind of dropped that higher. Well, not drop that higher, move that higher, and that, again, as I've said, it definitely helps. That's something that you should try. You have really got to experiment though. I wouldn't recommend changing, the pitch and your at the same time for the rudder. I'd recommend doing one at a time and finding your sweet spot sort of thing, because if you change them both together, you're not going to know which one actually made the difference and which one helped and which one didn't. So just change the pitch, have a game or two, see how that does for you, and then change the rudder and see how that works for you as well. But as I said, it definitely worked for me, and it's another thing that, as always, I'd definitely recommend. These two are just kind of little suggestions, to be honest with you, is when you take off, what I want to start doing, this isn't something that I do too much myself, but it is something that I'm thinking about doing, is in most cases I want to be able to just circle around the runway, the airfield, gain a bit of altitude, and then start heading over and thinking logically about where are people going to be, where are the bombers going to be. Little tip, stay away from bombers when you're new, you just get shot down all the time. But yeah, think about where the bombers are going to be, where the other fighters are going to be, where people are at the particular time, try and spot anything, and just take your time. Don't go rushing over into, they're going to be there, let's go, because you're not going to have the altitude, you might not even see where you get hit from, and you're not thinking logically. If you take off and actually think about where are you going to go, what are you going to do, that can help you a lot. A lot of times when I come out of the airfield, I just come out, I go straight forward, or I'll anchor to the right, anchor to the left. However, I'll get somewhere, I'll see a little dogfight going on with 3 or 4 planes, and I'll be like, boom, let's go. I don't even know which one's the enemy, which one's friendly until I get there. I just kind of, what I usually do is just go on whoever's on someone's tail, and then, if it's a friendly where you're there to help, and if it's an enemy, at least then you can try and shoot them down. But that is something that you don't want to do. Obviously, I strongly believe that you only know what planes are from dot over experience. There's not really a way, unless you're a massive, well, I'd say geek with planes, that's the only way you're going to be able to spot a plane and go, oh, that's a Spitfire Mark 9, something like that. That's the only possible way you can do that. You're not going to be able to just pull it out of mid-air and go, yeah, that's what that is, when you're relatively new to it. So don't get too disheartened by that. But if you do just sit back and analyse, if a dogfight is going on, if you sit back and just go, all right, well, let's look at the highest person, who's got the highest altitude at the minute, because they're going to be the main threat if it's an enemy. Take your time and just go, well, what are they doing? If someone's just opened up the trigger button and they've shot someone down, you'll see it in the bottom right of the corner. You'll see what it was, whether it was a friendly shooting an enemy down or vice versa. Then that way you can actually gain a bit of knowledge from going, well, that one's a friendly, that one's an enemy, from that sort of way. That can help you quite a lot if you just do that, as I said, but taking your time. And the last thing really that I'd definitely suggest, which is, if you've watched the previous videos, is something that I don't do, is just try not to panic when someone's on your 6. The majority of times when someone gets above 6 and someone's firing at me, I just start turning and twisting, and I lose all my speed, I lose altitude, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of hoping that they'll shake them off. But chances of actually doing that, really, you just plummet into your death even quicker. If you can try and keep your speed, keep going forwards, and think, what plane have they got? What plane have you got? What pros have, what can you do? Are you quicker than them? Can you just outrun them? Are you better at turning? Well, yeah, if you are, great, turn. Have you got the actual speed on them to be able to go up into a climb and then pull out of it, and obviously they'll still be trying to climb up and they might stall out, anything like that. That's what you've got to use. Can you dive down quicker than they can? There's so many things that, as I believe, that will come with time and experience. But if you first of all don't panic, you might have a stronger chance in actually analysing what you can do and where you can go. Are friendlies nearby, etc.? Is an airfield nearby? Anything that can just go in your favour is something that you should be able to take into account, instead of basically just going, someone's on my 6, quick, let's do a roll, let's dive down, let's pitch up, whatever you're doing, just stop, think, and then go, and you know, hopefully you'll be able to survive just that little bit longer. That's something that I definitely need to do, because I don't do that. But yeah, that's the main aim. So these points I've just pulled up are something that, as I've said, I really do want to start implementing into Simulator for myself, and hopefully in the long run it will make me a much better pilot, and I'll improve, get some more kills. Becoming an ace is something that I definitely want to do one day. That'll be nice. That'll be a nice day. I might treat myself to a pizza when I do that. Yeah, man. Anyway, guys, that is going to be the end of the video. There are a couple more minutes left. I might clip them out of just the footage we've got, so I don't really think too much else goes on from here. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and let me know what you thought down in the comment sections below. Also, drop me a follow on Twitter. That would be greatly appreciated. And subscribe if you do want to see more. Thank you very much for watching, though, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye, guys. Take care.